I first learned of Dakota Boys and Girls Ranch through my church. I'm a member of a Missouri Synod Lutheran church in town, in Minot, and through there have heard quite a great deal of the Boys Ranch. A few years ago, not only am I Vice President of Education and running the school portions of the thing, but I was asked if I would be interested in serving on the board of directors. And it was really kind of interesting because my first reaction was to say no. But I was guided, I think, through the grace of the Lord to say yes. And so, in addition to serving as superintendent of the schools, I also serve on the board of directors. I think that the vision, the heart, so to speak, comes from the desire to develop and help children and families in a Christ-centered environment so that we can educate them as best to our abilities and to try and give them a viable future in this global environment that we live in. There are a wide variety of programs at the ranch, and first of all you have the residential side, which then encompasses DJS and also the services they get through the medical areas. However, the educational part is also a very, very important part of that whole well-being, because as you know, the children need to have an education as well as the development as a well-rounded being. And so some of the programs that we have in the school here don't encompass just the basics. We have photography classes in addition to English, math, science, all of those things. We have vocational classes in shop, welding and carpentry, and then we also have the electronic aspect of all of that, which has become very, very popular in the past few years. We have subsidiary portions of our educational program which involve a wildlife club and some other types of clubs that involve the students in things that they like. And some areas that are not only fun but can turn into a vocation. I think that the ranch does that in its whole being. First of all, when you look at the people that we have that are out traveling the countryside, Gene and Al and people like that are out talking the gospel, but also talking to individuals and spreading the word about what we do here and how that they may help. I think that we do it right here on campus just by the interactions we have with each other, and more particularly with the students that are here. I think that it's very interesting to look at the fact that we have students that come out here, and the goal is to develop them enough so that they can go back to their home schools as quickly as possible. But what happens a lot of times is they don't want to do that. They want to stay here because they found that it's such a beautiful type of environment for them, and they thrive. I think on a practical level with the kids, I think that we have seen a lot of change because of the individual people that work with these children out here. We have teachers, and you know, you can think back on your own education of your favorite teacher or teachers and the friendships that you had and the relationships you have with certain people. And, you know, it seems like that really blossoms here, and that a lot of our teachers in particular serve as disciples and bring the students around to the wonderment that there is in believing. There are a number of ways you can get involved. I think one is simply praying for what happens out here and praying for the well-being of the programs and all of the different issues that we have, but more importantly praying for the students as individuals, because even though you may not know them, your prayers will reach them, and or will be guided back through to them. I think that furthermore, you can, of course, get involved on a financial basis. If you have the means to give anything to the programs that occur at DBGR, it's greatly appreciated and goes to a tremendous program. Volunteer opportunities, I think, exist in a lot of different veins, and some of them are just in the types of support that you can lend to the various activities that go on. For instance, looking back and seeing Carla back there, pigs in a blanket. We can always use volunteer help for programs like that. It becomes a little bit more of a critical problem if you're trying to volunteer in the school because of issues with licensing and those types of things. But we can always use volunteers, and I would invite anybody that is interested to contact Carla. I think to a large extent I've been led to do what I'm doing right now, to help out. My intent was never to do this for the money. My intent was never to do this because I needed a job. My intent was to do it because of the institution that it is, and the fact that it is based on religion and involvement, you know, through believing. And that's why I'm doing, or have been doing, what I'm doing at this time. My staff here is tremendous. Not only just here in the school, but this whole institution. The people are wonderful. They all have the same purpose. They all have the same wants for these children. And that's the bottom line. What we can provide for these children and their families to instill not only the Lord, but to instill a sense of well-being and worth so that they can move forward in this life.